So Stasha tells Nate she wants a post-nup because of your bankruptcy. Okay. Mitch tells Kristen that he's just not into her. And then Alexis makes Justin cry. Let's talk about it. Hello, my name is Cynthia, and welcome to my channel, C Flow's Reality TV Talk. Today, we're going to talk about Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 5, Everything Wells Be Okay. These titles are cheesy, but hey. Okay, let's start with Sasha and Nate. So apparently, what I thought was going to happen, they did not consummate their marriage in that steamy shower, but the way Sasha was talking, some things happened. They just didn't consummate their marriage. So it sounds like she knows that he's gonna live up to his freak in the sheets reputation that his family let her know about. They go ATVing, which is an activity that he planned, and Stasha decides to use this outing as a way to test Nate to basically see if he takes care of her, which is kind of what she said, but making sure she's okay, checking and making sure, um, that she's all right and safe and all that other stuff, which he failed miserably because when the ATV people were going through the equipment and helmet, how to put the helmet on and all that stuff, she was asking questions looking at Nate, and he was too busy putting on his gear, getting ready to go, all excited. And the guy at the ATV place was helping her with her gear. So they start driving. She's in front of him. And then all of a sudden she loses sight of him because Nate ain't thinking about her. Okay. He's taking selfies. He's going live on IG. He living his best life. So he failed this little test that she had miserably. And when they stopped ATVing, um, she brought up that, it seems like you were doing your own thing. And he's like, well, we in Mexico and, I had to go live and all this other stuff. And like I said, last week or the week before, that he seems very, very immature. And I think the age difference might cause a problem for them. Stacia lets Nate know at dinner. So they went to dinner and she lets Nate know that her mom called and said that she thinks they are a great couple, but she also told her about that bankruptcy dude, which I'm like, why didn't you tell her about it? I don't know. I know that y'all weren't in the shower all this time, but anywho. And then he goes to explain that basically he and his partner started the business with their own money. Then it went bankrupt and it caused his credit to be bad. And then he says his credit score went up in 6 months. Now, I don't know if that really happened. That's his business. I don't really know how he could have done that, but hey, more power to him. It just sounds kind of shady to me. And so she brings up that they need a post-nup to protect her assets. And I'm like, hell yeah, you do. So he goes, what's up? You don't trust your boy or something like that. And I'm like, hell to the no. You filed bankruptcy for your business. Now we don't know why. It could be for some reasons out of your control, but yeah, I don't trust you. He does decide that he's going to sign it to make her feel good, but he says his feelings were hurt because she doesn't trust me. No, she doesn't. And I don't blame her. She brings up the discussion about kids and he downs a drink really fast. He brings up her age. Well, she says that so he brings up her age and ask her, when do you want kids? And she says within the year. And he's like, nah, 2 or 3 years, which I agree, 2-3 years, because you got to really see if you could trust him. So that was pretty much it for them. Moving on to Lindy and Miguel. So Miguel says the sexual tension is there. He could see himself falling in love with her. They start having talk just to get to know one another. And she mentions that she was once engaged in college and that she lost her virginity to the guy at age 23. But she also talked about how that when it went against her religion, because she went to Seventh-day Adventist schools her entire life and things of that nature. So they start talking about their upbringings. Lindy talks about how her father served her mom with divorce papers and that she stayed with a boyfriend's family for the summer, I guess, to get away from the I guess, the drama that's going on between her and her mom. Miguel talks about how he was born in the US. I think he said he was born, and then he moved to Puerto Rico with his dad, and how he had an identity crisis because, and he didn't fit in because he didn't know Spanish at the time, and that he withdrew himself. And I think that's how he became geeky, because he was in the books, playing games, all that stuff. And he also mentioned that his mom had schizophrenia and how he used to treat her cold when he was younger. And as an adult, now that he understands schizophrenia, he feels bad for how he treated his mom. Yeah, so Lindy kind of, after they talk about how their upbringing was, she says that she hopes that they can break the cycle of I guess divorce, whatever. Let's see. They haven't quite consummated the marriage yet. It was either Miguel or Lindy who said that. Now, what do you mean you haven't quite? Does that mean you was first base, second base, but just didn't slide into the third base? I'm assuming that's what they mean. She tells him that she's glad that he is respectful and patient, and that she feels like consummating marriage is special. Miguel, on the other hand, says, having sex, basically making love, is basically expression of love. But then he goes into like giving her a massage. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to get them draws. I see, but I don't think it worked. Moving on to Alexis and Justin. So they go horseback riding. They're holding hands. It's just so romantical. And then I think after horseback riding, he pretty much pours his heart out to her as usual. Says he feels like he manifested this. He's all the feels. He's just telling her how happy he is and how glad she's his wife, yada yada yada. She says it takes a while for her to fall for someone. She says that she can tell that he loves her based on how he looks at her. I think we all see that though. And then she says it's hard to show her emotions and be vulnerable, which is why I think she acts a little immature when they start talking, when he starts showing his feelings. She's like giggly and, oh, the sappy. Oh, like she just don't like the sappy. Now, it could be that it's probably because she's uncomfortable when it comes to that. But to me, it's also a little immature. But I don't know. She's still young, I guess. So I think this was at dinner, or maybe it was still after or lunch or something. But he basically told her that he knows that he wants to spend the rest of his life with her and wants her to be the mother of his kids. And that he says, I love you. And then she laughs. Now, it's probably a nervous, uncomfortable laugh, but then she laughs. So I'm like, what the hell is this girl doing? You already know you're a crybaby. What you doing? So she basically said that saying I love you back is too much for her at the moment. He starts crying because he's sensitive, as we know. Now, I think he was trying to say he was crying because he's so happy and emotional about how he's feeling. But I think he was crying because he was pretty much rejected by her. Well, I wouldn't say rejected. The fact that she's not in the same space that he is in. So I wouldn't say rejected. That's the wrong word. And like I said, I knew he was gonna fall fast. I knew he was gonna fall fast, and I do think that she is going to break his heart because she's just I don't know what it is. She just can't accept that this guy might actually be falling for her like that. He tells her that he feels like she loves him, but he is optimistic and hopeful that he will win her heart. Moving on to Mitch and Kristen. So they go paddleboarding. He's happy because he's living his best life in his element. She's gloating about how he's a great travel buddy. So they seem real buddy, not affectionate. After paddleboarding, she tells him they need to be their authentic selves. And off to the side with the little confessional, she says they're moving slower than she would have liked. And they do this little pinky promise thing that she says that that's their version of a kiss, which is like, okay, that ain't no kiss. Excuse me. Later on, Mitch calls his brother and says he is putting a lot of pressure on himself, that he's not feeling physically, it's a physical spark. And I'm like, okay, it's 3 days and you're not really giving it a chance. Like, you're not even trying. He's just so into his, I don't know, into his head, I guess. His brother says he needs to follow through, make the best effort. And his brother said, you may also need to have that difficult conversation that you're not feeling a physical spark, which I was like, wow. Gets off the call with his brother. He starts crying. I don't know if he's crying because of the pressure. I don't know if he's crying because he don't want to have the difficult situation. All I know, his ass was crying. Let's see. Oh, he tells Krysten that he appreciates how she's down for taking it slow. She says she is okay with moving slow as long as they're moving toward sex in the sexual department. So she's ready to get it on and consummate. He said he wishes he feels the same way. He told her that he, yeah, which is really bad. So I think this was at dinner when he was telling her all of this. So let me back up. This is when he was telling her how he appreciates her. Then he basically tells her, I'm not feeling you, boo. Which, wow. She says she doesn't understand it. Look on her face, because he's like, the way he looks at her, the way he touches her, his actions and his words are not matching. And so I'm like, that's one hell of a conversation to be like, I don't really appreciate you. I don't think I like you. I'm not attracted to you. You could tell that she was tearing up and trying to fight back tears, but she basically told him, look, I can't convince you that I am cute and that I'm a good catch, which I'm like, true, you can't do that. So she's really confused and frustrated. And she hopes that he sees what she sees within herself. And my thing is like, if you don't, move on, boo, because you don't want him anyway. He's like a stress ball. Later by the pool, they're kicking it. They're kind of chilling a little bit. They start, I think the pool or jacuzzi, they started throwing back drinks, right? So the next day, in a little confessional side thing, he says that he had drinks and things got hot and heavy. So he's happy because he feels like, I'm attracted to her. But no, boo, it was the drinks, okay? It was the blame it on the alcohol, okay? That's what that was. And then he said he wanted to show her some affection to show that he appreciates her, which means it wasn't a genuine thing and it was alcohol-induced affection. Krysten said that she's glad that he made a move on her and that he's a good kisser, which I find that hard to believe. But she felt like they would have gone further, except he has not been affectionate toward her the way that she wanted him to be affectionate toward her early on. And then, she said it would be nice to hear this say, oh, you look nice. Oh, you're beautiful. You're this, you're that. She wants to feel wanted and sexy. And I think what she wants is what Alexis is getting from Justin, okay? And she ain't getting it from Mitch, honey. You ain't getting it from Mitch. She did tell Mitch, but I was glad she told him this. The only pressure she is going to put on him is that if they have not consummated the marriage or he has not said, I love you by decision day, I'm filing for a divorce, boo. I'm not going to be wasting my time. And I'm okay with that. Go ahead, Krysten. Next, we're moving on to Morgan and Ben. So the wedding festivities continue. Morgan talks to his family, and Ben's mom says, oh, he calls me all the time. He loves me, all this other stuff. Pretty much proving what he said that he is, which is a mama's boy. She asked Morgan how many kids that she wants. And Morgan really didn't answer the question. She basically said there's a lot of things that she wants to accomplish before they start having kids. Ben talks to Morgan's family, and he was family and friends, and her family and friends was basically saying that Morgan really doesn't want to have kids, but she hopes that you could change her mind. So Ben is a little concerned about that. He's hoping they can talk through that because they haven't really had that discussion themselves. He did say that he was grateful that they matched him with Morgan, that she's pretty and all that stuff, but he said he can also tell that she's an alpha female, which she is. Ben feels his family likes her, and he hopes that their marriage lasts just as long as his mom and dad. I think his mom and dad's been married for 50 years years or close to 50 years, which you don't see that every day. And then Ben says, uh, basically off to the side, when they talk to producers. I call it confessional because I get that from the housewives and all that stuff. But he says that he'll be all right because it's his birthday, okay? And he would be okay if Morgan gave him some booty for his birthday. And I thought that was funny. The next morning, after the wedding night and honeymoon night, she surprises him with birthday cupcakes, which was really cool and cute. Then she kind of says off to the side to the producers that she is jazzed about his body. He got a good body now. I ain't gonna lie. He a little on the little slim side for me, a little small side for me, but he got a nice body though. I'll give him that. Ben is just ready for some sex, okay? His talks with the producers is always talking about sex. So they get the little package about this is where you're going for your honeymoon. And in the honeymoon suite, they had a basket of condoms. So he's dumping the whole basket of condoms in his suitcase. So Ben wants to get down. I don't know if Morgan wants to. So they're on their way to Puerto Vallarta. Did I say Puerto? No, okay. It's Puerto Vallarta. I thought I said Puerto Rico last time. Anywho, so the couples all meet up, including Morgan and Ben. Excuse me. They go on a boating excursion and they see whales, which that's cool. I think they saw 2 or 3 whales. Then they all catch up with one another. So as couples, they talk about how things are going, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. The guys go and have their little chat, and the females have their little chat. And Alexis brings up that Justin is celibate again. Girl, why you got to tell the whole world his business, right? But then they start joking that he's probably going to blow her back out, okay, when they do have sex. Then they talked about Stacia kind of explained why she's okay with changing her last name to Nate's last name because she really doesn't have a connection with her father. And then Alexis kind of made Stacia cry because I couldn't understand what Alexis was saying. I don't know if Alexis was saying that she understands, even though she has her father in her life. And that kind of made Stacia cry because clearly she's got some work to do on herself when it comes to her father. Justin admits to the guys that he tells her that he loves her. Nate thinks he's a little too excited, which he is. I agree with Nate, even though Nate's got some issues on his own. Miguel, there's a bunch of horny dudes on this season. Miguel admits he wants to have sex and she's taking it slow. Nate tells the guys about the shower thing, and then off to the side, he tells the producers that he feels that they will consummate their marriage before the end of the honeymoon. Let's see. Mitch says Ben and Morgan are on shaky ground, which that's like the pot calling the kettle black. Mitch tells the guys that they got hot and heavy. I don't think he really said they didn't consummate the marriage. And then lastly, the women feel that Krysten, they feel something from Krysten. They're trying to get it out of her, but she basically tells them, I will fill you guys in tomorrow. Right now, she didn't want to do it around the guys. So that's pretty much it. I'd like to know your thoughts down in the comments. How do you feel about Ben wanting some booty for his birthday? How do you feel about the way and how immature, in my opinion, that Alexis acts when he's showing his affection? I'd like to know what you thought about this episode. So please don't forget to subscribe to my little channel. Please like this video. Until next time, peace.